What's up, guys? Alexander here. Uh, doing a preview. Not sorry. First impressions here, and this may seem a little weird, but it was such an old series, and a lot of you know Yu-Gi-Oh. Very classic series. A lot of people I know are familiar with the anime and definitely the card game. You definitely recognize that hair and everything. But I've only actually really read the first volume of this series. I haven't really read anything else of it. I just watched the anime and played the card game. Probably like a lot of people actually, but I know there's probably some fans out there of the manga. So just gonna give my first thoughts out there. And for anybody who doesn't know, this is Yu-Gi-Oh. The story revolves around a young boy named Yugi Moto who is really into games but is kind of like bullied a lot by people around him for being small and stuff. But he gets a present from his grandpa one day. It's an ancient puzzle, which he ends up solving. And when he does, he plays host to a spirit in it that comes out whenever he's in danger and defends him using his wits and gambling skills in shadow games. And yeah, it's for anybody that does know, you know, for more about the card game in the series. So it sounds very interesting because there's nothing to do with the card game really at first. Like I think later on, if I remember correctly, like the card game does come in, but first there's no really mention of the game. It's all about just um, the spirit, unknown spirit at the time, defending Yu-Gi-Oh and in these games of chance for like mainly the lives or um, for those involved, and so they get pretty dangerous, but still very interesting, I think. But first off, let's talk about the art. I actually really like the art. Still pretty much the same. But you've seen the series, with the big old hair, character designs, things like that. So they're all a lot of characters that we know are very recognizable. And I dig the stylized art of it. It seems a little like generic, well, because comparatively, but like I thought, like after what being such an old series, all the characters, and the style itself actually kind of stick out compared to like other series of the time. So I actually really like it. Um, let's see. I kind of went over the plot already. um, see, and as I said before, these are all about like games of chance that have pretty much just gone too far. And I find that very interesting. You know, when I first found that out, that like the beginning of the series had nothing to do with the card game, I was like, what? Doesn't make any sense. And then I'm like, oh, wow. And so it just kind of makes me wonder when like when the transition happens from games of chance with terrible consequences to just a card game of chance with consequences. So, uh, I found that really fascinating and a little bit more interesting. Like I get that there's with such a long stand series, just probably like it's hard to keep that you know so many different types of variations on games of chance, and instead just create your own game with their own rules. Probably a bit easier. But you know, I still kind of like that whole somewhat unique um, approach to that at first. But that was really fascinating. And of course, though, some negatives. A lot of people know the series. This is a very long running series, like right up there. I believe it's still going technically with some, the spin off series. I know the anime still is, but as far as the manga goes, I'm pretty sure it is too. So yeah, this is like we're talking like One Piece levels of stuff. It's been going that long. So, and because of this though, because since I know it doesn't follow like Yugi anymore, and he's kind of just like in his own, spoilers, little spoilers here. It goes off in its own like different versions of the card game and follows different main characters as go. Has his own like multiverse going on, so it gets a little convoluted going on where to kind of start with this series. I guess it all depends on like where you grew up seeing it at first. So you know, and I know this sounds like a little weird coming for someone to first impressions, but it's just something I have to say for with a series like this that I like. I want to get my knowledge of it out there first, not just like on what that first volume has to say. Not just that, I should say. And but from the first series, like I like it. Um. So yeah, Incursion, pretty nostalgic series for those stylized art with their Games of Darkness and very long, which I think this first series finished at 38 volumes, and again still going. Um, Pretty good, I think, for some like beginners, as long as you don't mind sticking in there for quite a long series, or you could just stop at when this ends, I guess. Depending on your taste. And that's all I really have to say for this one. Talk to you guys later. Bye.